Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man. Pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man. 'Cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy. Young man, there's a place you can go. I said, young man. When you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for you men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, are you listening to me? I said, young man. What do you want to be? I said, young man. You can make real your dreams, but you've got to know this one thing. No one man does it all by himself. I said, young man, put your pride on the shelf and just go there to the YMCA. I'm sure they can help you today.
Welcome to the Average Nobodies podcast, number 106 for January 3rd, 2021. See that? You win a fantasy championship, and the calendar has become clear to me.
45 seconds into the podcast, and he mentions the championship win.
That's it.
I got the trophy.
Well earned.
There's no better place than at the top of the show to announce that I am a champion.
A well-deserved
champion.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That'll be it. I won't bring it up anymore.
I'm sure.
I can't promise that. All right. Ryan, celebrity birthdays.
Yes.
Don't.
Right. Well,
There's
where we're going.
there's another item here on this list.
Oh wait, shit. Oh, that's right. We specifically put it because we fuck it up. This is the Average Nobodies podcast. You can find us at AverageNobodies.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Twitter.
On Twitter, at Average Nobodies. I will tweet every once in a while.
Ryan gives out gambling picks. So far, he has won a few.
I won a few, but you know what I stopped doing? I stopped giving the advice, and now I'm winning again.
See? Yeah.
So, I don't know what to tell you guys. You can, if you want to follow my tweets, go do the opposite.
The mantra is fade us.
Yeah, fade
the average nobodies. So,
very true.
Anyway, that's where we're at. Look at that. Self-promotion. Celebrity birthdays.
Oh, wait a second.
What now?
I was going to say, to introduce the new rule.
Oh, right. Well, we're on celebrity birthdays, so we're going to introduce the new rule now. The rule is that, I know last week we decided we didn't want to step on riddles. So we're going to wait until the end of the riddles before anybody guesses. So what we'll do is we're going to, so that way the person who knows the answer first can get in, just like a buzzer. There's going to be a hand raise. So while Ryan's saying the riddle, if you know it during the riddle, instead of like shouting out and stepping on it, you just raise your hand or make a gesture, and you will be in line to have first crack.
And Mitch, you can participate too. We have a scoreboard going here. The updated rankings are Matt with 6, Ryan with 9.5, me with 5, and you currently have 0.
Wow, I'm going to have to start cheating.
Yeah. Well, you haven't been here when we did it, so it's fair.
John Lynch also with 0.
You've been here a
Since you
couple
started
times?
keeping score.
John
Yeah,
Lynch also
I don't
with
think
0.
while we kept score, you've been doing it.
Okay, I'm still horrible, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So whoever is orating, are they in charge of who has the hand up first?
Yeah, and I think we'll just do honor system. Like,
Yeah.
I guess we can all see.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Me.
I don't know where the applause button is. I lost it.
I like that better. Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. A brave-hearted soldier and patriot, this actor-director has shown a lethal passion for war movies while also yearning to know what women want.
That would be Mel Gibson.
That would be Mel Gibson. Correct.
That one was easy. As soon as I heard Patriot, I know.
That's going to be the easiest one.
Should have raised your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. It's too bad.
Did you know after Braveheart?
I had an idea after Braveheart, but then when you said Patriot, that was it.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to trick us, and I was too slow on the draw. Okay.
Hey,
How old is?
how old's Mel Gibson today?
I think that Mel Gibson is 72.
Okay.
Is that not good?
Mel Gibson is 58.
Oh, boy.
58.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I think he's 62.
Mel Gibson is 65.
Damn.
Okay.
It's funny how like 72 sounds so old, but it's not that off.
It's not that far off, but it's just funny.
It's like when you said Marissa Tomei was 72. No,
I mean,
not
he looks
72,
like he's
60
had
When I
some
say
tough
how old
years.
did I say she was?
63.
Yeah.
But
She's
she's
only
56.
50,
It's not that big of a
56.
difference, but. All right.
All
Next
right.
one. Okay.
Shit.
You'd be crazy not to be falling for this Oxford-born actress who has grown from a little woman to a black widow. Adam?
Shit.
Matt, you can
Scarlett
jump in.
Johansson.
No.
Fuck.
She's not
Is that
Little
what you're
Women.
going for?
That's what I was going to say, but that I don't think.
She's not in Little Women.
From a little one to.
Oh.
Saoirse Ronan.
Nope. Florence Pugh.
That's right.
Wow. Sir.
So what's her Black Widow?
So she's plays
Elena something.
her sister.
Oh.
She's
She's
Amy
in
March. She's
Midsommar.
also in Midsummer.
Wait, she plays her sister in the movie that hasn't come out yet?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's also in Little Women.
Okay.
So I included
I
Black
haven't
Widow
seen
because I
Little
figured
Women.
you guys would know. She's also in the movie The Falling. How old is Florence Pugh?
I think Florence Pugh is 24.
Lawrence Pugh is 25.
26.
What did I say? Lawrence Pugh? What is her name? Lawrence. I said
Florence Pugh's 25! Wow. A rare age guess.
That's my first one, I think.
Yeah.
It is. Well, since we've been keeping track.
Okay. So now those are the easy ones.
Oh,
So
okay.
get ready. So these ones we might have to do like some of the half pointers for the characters of the show.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so Mitch, you can get a half point if you can say the name of a character they played in a movie or TV.
So you get a half point per.
Yeah, you get a.
Yeah.
Well, say you can't say.
So you didn't know Florence Pugh, but you knew that a character name for one of her movies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. With a career spanning 5 decades, but nowhere close to 50 years, this wonderful actress is best known as the ultimate teen crush from her role in a popular late 80s and early 90s family dramedy.
Say the beginning again.
With a career spanning 5 decades, but nowhere close to 50 years, this wonderful...
Oh, the Wonder Years.
The
I
girl
don't-
from Wonder Years. Fuck.
I mean, there's too
Obviously.
many people in the Wonder Years for me to narrow this down. But
Well, I mean,
is it the sister?
No, it's
she's
gotta be
known as the
girlfriend.
ultimate teen
The
crush.
girlfriend. The one that.
I would need a character name to give you any points.
I don't got it.
She was also in How I Met Your Mother for a couple episodes.
I don't know.
No clue.
Nothing?
No.
So Winnie Cooper, a.k.a.
Okay.
Danica McKellar.
Winnie
Okay.
Cooper.
I know the name.
How old is Danica McKellar today?
Ooh.
Not today, but...
She is. I have no idea. 53.
She's 42.
I'm gonna say 50.
46. Danica McKellar is 46.
4 years off.
All right. Looking at this Providence, Rhode Island native's career step by step would take you a while, but even in a full house, his goofy voice stood out. I think Adam had it up a little quicker.
Is it Dave Coulier?
No.
I don't know. That's what I was going with. Who? Rhode Island native from in
John
Full House?
Stamos? Like,
Let me do it again?
Bob Saget?
No.
Yeah, do it
So
again.
these
Do it
ones are a
again.
little harder, but it's like a very popular. Looking at this Providence, Rhode Island native's career step by step would take you a while, but even in a full house, his goofy voice stood out.
Even in a full house. So maybe Full House isn't.
It has to
Full
be
House
step
shell.
by step, like. Step by step.
What is
That's
that?
the opening song.
That's not the opening song for Full House.
It's not.
No.
No.
Whatever happened?
No, it's
to
from
you?
Step by Step though.
I don't know.
No, it's hard to get his name. So Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden.
So
is
he
he?
was in Step by Step. He was in Full House. He was Eric Matthews' friend on Boy Meets World. He's
James
also the voice of
Marsden?
Max Goof in a Goofy movie.
Wait, James
Oh.
Marsden.
Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden. Oh, I was gonna say I
Not
know
related,
James.
but he was born in Providence.
Okay.
If you look him up, you know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was in like a bunch of '90s shows and movies.
Show the camera.
Right. That's him.
Yeah.
I got
the camera?
nothing.
You ever seen
Nothing.
Step by Step, Full House, Boy Meets World.
Nothing.
Really?
Recognize him?
I don't.
All right.
I guess so.
Looks like a Power Ranger.
You guys never watched those shows?
Yeah, he does kind of look like a Power Ranger. He looks like Ryan Seacrest a little
Oh,
bit.
you idiot!
What?
He does the voice of Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, but
Gotta roll that in there. In
I would-
Simba.
oh, you would have got his name?
No,
Maybe.
I would
No,
not.
I wouldn't.
I definitely would
Simba.
not have got his name from
In Lion King 2,
Oh, well, that's not a real movie.
Simba's Pride.
How old is Jason
Simba's
Marsden?
Pride.
Ooh, I don't want to.
Oh fuck. I had the Wikipedia. I didn't look.
I know.
I forgot.
I think he is 44.
I'm gonna say 46.
45.
Jason Marsden is 46 years old.
Let's go. I swear.
know,
I,
I believe
swear. I did not.
I
know.
don't believe it.
Wow, that's 2 ages for Matt. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of voices.
Yeah.
Like the cat from Hocus Pocus.
I still wouldn't have gotten that though. That doesn't help the riddle at all. I don't
You
even
might
know
have
what is
gotten-
step by
He
step.
was Max Goof in a Goofy movie.
Oh, see.
Coulda
but
gotten
I-
that.
I know that. I wouldn't have known.
I
but
could have gotten. I don't know.
What's step by step?
It's kind of like Full House.
Okay.
Same. It was like one of those 90s like sitcoms.
I'm not gonna Google
Silly.
anything else.
No.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
While he's never seen in front of the camera, this mad scientist, comedic writer excels at creating characters with a sense of community.
Oh, he's never seen in front of
Repeat the question. Is
While
that an
he's
option?
while he's never seen in front of the camera, this mad scientist, comedic writer excels at creating characters with a sense of community. Mitch.
Dan Harmon.
That is right.
Whoa!
Wow, Mitch on the board.
Boom. First point.
How old is Dan Harmon?
How old is
Oh,
Harmon?
mad scientist, Rick and Morty. Got it. He's
I get
also-
first guess.
He
Yeah.
also. Oh, go ahead, Mitch. Sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah. What else? Is
He's
he?
also Bird Person. He does the voice for Bird Person in Rick and Morty.
I don't watch Rick and Morty.
Bird Phoenix person.
Phoenix Person.
He's I'm gonna say 42.
42. Dan Harmon's 46.
48.
Dan Harmon is 48 years old.
Yes, sir!
Wow.
Whoa, huge
That's got to be the first time there's ever been 3 ages guessed.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Well, especially because this is we usually only do 4
Yeah.
or 5, but still, it's a high percentage.
All right, got 2 more.
Mhm.
This one's going to be a little tougher than the last one.
Okay.
This actor knows all things American, a psycho and horror story to name a few, but he'll always be obsessed with trying to take down the Pied Piper.
An actor.
Read it again.
This actor knows all things American, a psycho and horror story to name a few, but he'll always be obsessed with trying to take down the Pied Piper.
Does the Pied Piper riddle have anything to do with the HBO show
Yes.
Silicon Valley?
Yep.
Is it
If you can get the character name, I'll give you.
No, but a psycho. Read the beginning part again.
This actor knows all things American, a psycho and horror story to name a few.
So
So
must
there's
have been an American Horror Story as well, right?
and
And American Psycho.
What?
The fuck is it?
I feel like the last part might.
Is it the Trace Comas guy?
No.
It's not. Fuck.
I'm out.
Who the fuck is it? I just watched Silicon Valley. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, so then you need to.
Is it one of the main guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it Thomas Middleditch?
No.
Why can't
But
I
he'll
fucking-
always be obsessed with trying to take down the Pied Piper.
Now we're tailoring the questions.
All right. I might have to give up.
Yeah, but I
wanna
don't.
give too many hints.
I don't know who.
I don't know how.
I really don't know who
American
this.
Psycho and American Horror Story.
I
Those
must
are
be
so
missing
far
a
apart.
very pivotal person in this.
Yeah.
in this
So it's
show.
Gavin Belson.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. All right. So I didn't know who he was. I knew Gavin Belson. I didn't.
Yeah.
know.
Well,
So what is
ruler
he?
of
Who
Hooli.
is he in American Psycho?
He Lewis Carruthers in American Psycho.
Okay.
And he plays a doctor in American Horror Story.
I don't think I remember him from anything. That's why I didn't guess him, is because I didn't know anything else other than
Yeah.
Silicon Valley. Okay. Gavin Belson.
His name is Matt Ross.
Okay.
The actor.
Hooli, the Hooli.
The Hooli,
CEO.
the founder of Hooli.
Yeah.
So how old is Matt Ross?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, he was in American.
He's 49.
Psycho.
49.
49.
Could we get 4? 80s?
51.
When you say 49 and 51,
Yeah.
50.
Matt Ross is 51.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Two.
This is insane.
Two, and yeah. Wow.
All right, so
Zero.
I got one more left. This one's gonna be easy. This Super Bowl undefeated, dopey younger brother is widely regarded as a better quarterback, father, and all-around human being than Tom Brady. Adam.
That is Eli Manning. Unfortunately.
right. It's true. How old is Eli Manning?
38.
Eli Manning. He's 39.
37.
Eli Manning is 40 years old today.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Hey, good ones.
Wow,
Pretty
4
good.
year guesses. That's
Yeah.
very hard.
It's pretty good.
So the updated standings are Matt with 8, Ryan still at 9.5, me with 9,
Me?
and Mitch with 1.
Nice. Dan Harmon.
Get on
That's
the
clutch.
board with Danny.
You guys weren't good with the names this week.
No.
For some reason.
I was just, yeah.
Well,
Off
you
my
said I
game.
couldn't pick dead people. We had J.R.R. Tolkien. We had Sergio Leone, Robert Loggia.
Oh, no. I know Tolkien.
Sergio Leone?
Who's that?
Once Upon a Time in America? The director?
I don't know who that
He's a
is.
director of Once Upon a Time
What's
in
the
America.
part- Oh, was that the riddle you gave us today?
Yeah, but I didn't give you any background.
Yeah.
Robert Loggia. He's in Sopranos. He's in Godfather.
I'm looking this up.
He's got like a super raspy voice.
He spells
Kind of
his
looks like
name-
James Caan.
He spells his name on Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Hesh.
Mm-mm.
No?
J.R.R.
No, he's not Hesh.
Who is he?
It
Oh, yes. He's the guy who gets out of prison.
Yeah, he's in The Beater.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It would have been fun to try to guess how old J.R.R. Tolkien would have been today.
115.
He's born 18
128.
128. Holy shit.
Died in the 70s.
He looks good for his age.
He might still be alive.
Could be.
Think so?
With advances in modern science and his
something
high
in
level
my
of
eye.
income.
All right, what we're watching. So, just as a heads up, I know I already told Adam. I didn't tell you, Matt. I watched Wonder Woman 84.
Okay, so let's get that all on the table.
Let's get it out of the way.
I watched the whole thing.
I
You wa-
finished it.
You finished it too? Okay.
Yeah.
We can all talk about it.
Big time thumbs up.
Big time thumbs up.
Yep.
I'm stunned.
I love it.
Explain.
Yeah, explain.
I
Expound.
really enjoyed it. So what we did yesterday when we got back from New Hampshire, we watched Wonder Woman, which I've already seen. I fell asleep. I was very tired. I fell asleep.
The first one.
The first one.
Okay.
But I've already seen it. Fell asleep. Woke up towards the end. Then we watched Wonder Woman 84. Not as good as the original Wonder Woman. If you take Kristen Wiig out of it, or you recast Kristen Wiig, which I want to leave to Adam because he had a really good idea.
Okay.
I think it's like a great standalone movie. Kristen Wiig was super weak. Her character was super weak in that movie. But other than that, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And you know what? And as I was watching it, I knew I was going to look at it from a different point of view than you guys, as far as in the context of like the other superhero movies. And also, I'm a sucker for more like romantic type things. Like, it was not an action movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was more
like 4 action scenes.
Yeah, it was more her dealing with the loss of Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Which I loved. And I thought it was good.
I thought that those parts were some of the strongest in the movie. I thought her parts with like talking, like her leaving the fake Steve and like running away and giving up her wish, I thought was one of the strongest parts of the movie. I thought Pedro Pascal was great in the role.
Mm-hmm.
I thought his motives were a little strange, and I thought that the way they wrapped everything up was also a little strange, but that's not really his character's fault, I guess. And also,
They didn't really tell you his motives until you got those flashbacks of like his childhood.
Right.
Very quickly.
Yes. And then the other part that really drags me down, and I started watching it again. Is all the action scenes. Like, it just kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the action scenes in Wonder Woman, the first one, were so good and so well thought out and like clever in like ways where like the one where No Man's Land, where she climbs up the ladder, like, that's incredible.
The big fight with Ares at the end was awesome.
The scene in Wonder Woman 1984 where they're on the highway is one of the worst. It looks like
Egypt?
It looks like a
Yeah.
bad Bollywood
Yeah.
like movie.
And the same with the mall one. Like,
Yes.
what is Wonder Woman doing stopping a robbery at a jewelry store?
Yeah, that one, it felt out of place.
If they like connected that with like she was looking for the stone and these guys took it and then like it got into the hands of, the authorities before she could get to it, okay, fine. That's why she was there. But like, Wonder Woman's got bigger fish to fry.
She's worked for the Smithsonian,
Right.
and she looks after these priceless artifacts, and she also does all this really high level superhero shit, and she's like saving a Wetzel's Pretzels from being robbed.
Yeah.
What was she was saving a jewelry store that had precious artifacts from being robbed. The only thing, I feel like, though, they take that from how, like, Batman saves what seems like pointless crime.
But that's what Batman does.
But why can't Wonder Woman do that?
I guess she could, but I don't think she was built up then correctly in the first one. She's a god.
Yeah.
She is a god.
He's a god.
She's a god.
She's the only one who can
Batman's
kill
rich.
Ares. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was such a drop off from the first one for me. That and not even talking about like bare bones. Maybe the story's passable, but just the way they executed, I thought was like just flat, bad, unremarkable, uninspired. Didn't
Something
enjoy it.
for me that I was like really looking forward to that just didn't exist was Barbara Minerva's transformation into Cheetah. It just didn't show it. She just showed up as Cheetah in one scene, and then in another scene she wasn't Cheetah anymore.
She had this
She's just
really
wet.
cool jacket on,
Yeah.
and then she was sort of like a cat, and then she had eye makeup on, and then the next scene she was full on.
Full cat. She went full
And then she
cat.
got defeated.
And she was defeated,
Yeah, I
and
didn't
she's
like
in
her
the water,
character.
and she turned back into regular Barbara.
Right. So, like, if they, so she beat her up at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
She bested Wonder Woman at the White House. Have her as the cat in that one. So, like, you see how she's badass and super tough as this cat now. And then Wonder Woman gets her super armor that she needs and beats her. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two scenes were out of place.
And then, like,
Because you beat Wonder Woman on your transformation to the cheetah, and then once you become the cheetah, you lose?
right, she became more powerful.
Right. Well, Wonder Woman was lacking power when she faced her at the
Which I understand.
Right.
Smithsonian. Where was she?
The
White
White
House.
House.
So something I said to Ryan was like, I love Kristen Wiig. She's super funny. You know what I mean? She's a super funny actress. I don't know if. So I told Ryan that I feel like that role that they really wanted Sarah Paulson to be Wonder
Sure.
Woman.
Yeah,
I mean to be Cheetah.
Yeah, right,
But they
I
ended up with Kristen Wiig because Sarah Paulson is an amazing actress and would have absolutely crushed. She's like a Pedro Pascal level
Yes.
actress.
Yeah.
Especially when there's not that much. Like, they didn't do enough comedic background of her as Barbara.
Right.
To warrant Kristen Wiig as the. If there was, like, scenes where it's like, oh, you needed this, like, ditzy humor, or, then I could see Kristen Wiig being cast, but, like, they jumped almost right into her needing to transform, her, like, casting the wish.
So I'm fresh off of watching Batman Returns, and they definitely tried to have her go the way of Michelle Pfeiffer's transformation into Catwoman for that, and Michelle Pfeiffer just like is bodied that role. and it's tough to live up to. I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, yeah.
I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was bad by any means, and it definitely was helped by being able to watch it at home.
Definitely.
If I in the theaters, maybe I'm really upset.
Yeah.
And I think it sucks. But I didn't think it was bad. I didn't. I mean, it wasn't as good as the original. It's not. I'm not gonna be in a rush to rewatch it again. But I didn't think it was bad. I wouldn't discourage people from watching it.
I'm curious to see where they go now. They already said they were doing a third one, right?
Yeah.
Third one.
But now you kind of
Still
almost
see it. Still watch the shit out of that.
So you've written out Chris Pine,
Written out Chris
yeah,
Pine.
Chris Pine's
which
gone.
sucks because
I mean, to be fair, they written out Chris Pine in the first one. They
Right.
wrote- they
Yeah,
wrote
but
him
you
out.
can't bring him back now.
He killed himself.
Yeah.
literally sacrificed himself
He literally sacrificed himself.
because it sucks. 'Cause they have
now
great
you can't-
chemistry.
If they bring him back again, this is like okay. Also, I won't pretend like I know every inch of Wonder Woman's backstory, but is she flying?
Wonder Woman can fly.
Yeah.
So she gets her wings, so to say. And,
Right.
You know.
I do like that gold suit that she.
That is badass.
Did she wish for that now?
No, she
when all the
found
wishes
that.
were happening?
No,
Okay.
she found that. So at one point, like in her little research room, she said she had found that when she had tried to find another Amazonian.
And they did that really cheesy they really wedged it in there when
Linda Carter.
Steve I instantly saw that little cut of her face. I was like, that's Linda Carter. That's a cool way to bring her into it.
Who is still looks good.
Looks great. But they
Sorry.
wrap the lasso around Steve, and she's like, "Oh, I'll show you." And first of all, they use that to show. Oh, the lasso can also now show you things.
Right, that's new.
And then also here's this armor that we're gonna fit into this movie as well. We'll just shove it in there.
Mm-hmm. There was, if I'm being completely honest, there's at one point in the movie where I'm like, okay, now it's really starting to pick up. You know what I mean? Like maybe if they cut the first, cut a little bit out of the beginning of this movie. Because there's a part where Pedro Pascal was draining people's wishes and it was chaos going outside. So I'm like, all right, here we go. The world is going nuts. This is a Wonder Woman level threat. You know what I mean? And I really thought it was going to start to pick up steam. But then when it got to that final act where and I was even fine with him changing the rules of the stone because he is the stone now. You know what I mean? You don't have to hold it. He can just hear it. He can feel it. You can have as many wishes as you want. Fine. He's the stone now. He makes the rules. But just how there's no way everybody. Matt said this last week. There's no way everybody in the world renounced their wish. There's still chaos in the streets.
Yeah.
The man who wished for nuclear weapons for his country.
terrorist,
Right. He did not unwish those nuclear weapons.
There's also, it's funny, the terrorists sitting in a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
Where's his TV?
Yeah. Right. He's like, oh. He's like,
I just picture it's the Michael Scott episode when they're doing the where's my family? It's where's his TV that he's I wish we had nuclear weapons just at this exact moment. And I know they tried to explain it away with when he visits the president. Who was the guy who played the president? What a terrible actor.
oh shit. Yeah. Who was it? Also, the other
He
thing
was so bad.
there's
But then
not-
he's Pedro Pascal's particles, did you say?
Yeah.
That touch everyone?
Seven.
And then that's how he.
7 or at the time, whenever this movie was, 6 billion people in the world. You're gonna tell me that there's not one person on the entire Earth that wished for the Earth to explode. You're gonna tell me that
Or
there's
just
not one person that wished for complete annihilation for the whole world.
Right. If this was real and Holly was part of this, she would have wished for everyone to die.
That's it.
And she would refuse to announce it out of stubbornness.
Yep.
And then that's it.
That's it.
And everyone dies. I didn't mind it, but
I can appreciate that you didn't mind it. I just find it where I'm coming from. The biggest thing is it's such a letdown from the first one. I'll repeat that. It's such a letdown from the first one, and also they had time to fix the movie.
They had is so long coming. It was so hyped up, especially after how good the first one was. We really looking for something awesome.
But would you say on its own it was a very okay standalone movie?
It was a very middle of the road superhero movie.
Right. But when I feel when you start
unremarkable.
trying to compare it to especially the original and then other movies,
Yeah.
then it gets harder. But I think on its own it was okay. It's not gonna blow anybody away.
Yeah, I mean, it's on its own in the DC universe. I think if you put it in the Marvel universe, it's the worst. If you put it against Marvel superhero movies, I think it's the worst. It might even be worse than the Eric Bana Hulk.
I think like if I'm like
I
ranking,
mean, that's harsh, but
if I'm ranking like my DC movies, the only one I think is worse than that is Justice League.
I haven't seen any of
the
those.
theatrical cut.
Yeah.
Maybe Suicide Squad, but I even like Suicide
I like
Squad.
Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
So
All right, well, let's get to the positive. Adam, let's start us off with what we're watching.
So I know in the recent weeks I've had some poor performances for what I've watched, but I've been like some type of show watching demon lately. Demon from hell. So I'll go with some movies first. I have this time like in the morning on the weekends. It's Adam's time. Jen sleeps late. It's Adam's time. I'm gonna watch something Jen doesn't want to watch, or something I've never seen before. So the other day I went on Prime and I popped on Terminator: Dark Fate. So that's the newest one.
That's how it says here.
With Linda Hamilton back as Sarah Connor, and so this is a direct sequel to T2 Judgment Day. So like forget all the other ones, and I don't want to ruin anything for you guys. But I mean,
it's an older movie.
I will eventually watch it, but you're not going to be ruining.
You find out pretty early on that like okay, they stopped Judgment Day. Sarah Connor and her son John are in Mexico hiding out because she's wanted by everybody. There's another Terminator. Like you find out that they sent multiple Terminators back in time, and John Connor dies like as a boy, like fresh off of T2 in Mexico. So she loses her son. And so it picks up, the next presumed Sarah Connor is a woman in Mexico. And so let me tell you this. The first half hour, 40 minutes of this movie is nonstop action. It's fucking awesome. And then when Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor finally shows up, she's such a badass. Like she's got, she's loaded with guns and she's got her bulletproof vest on. She's fucking jacked. So she's super badass. I actually really liked Terminator: Dark Fate. I thought it was definitely better than the one with Emilia Clarke. Definitely better than Rise of the Machines. I don't know if I'd put it ahead of the Christian Bale one.
I love the Christian Bale.
That one's great, but I think this one, like as a sequel to T2, holds up pretty well.
Yeah, it's
like the first 40 minutes and like the last 40 minutes are nonstop action, and then there's like a good amount of action in the middle too. It's only slow for a little while, and like the CG they do on to make Arnold look like the Terminator that kills John Connor, like at the beginning, is amazing.
Yeah,
the CG they did on him to bring him back, which was cool.
That's cool.
But I'll save because I know Matt wants to see this. I don't know if Ryan will see it, but it's on Prime. I really enjoyed it. I recommend Terminator: Dark Fate. It's a good one.
Okay.
I don't know if I want another one to build off of that, but it was a good movie. I also watched Seven for the first time ever, which was unfortunate because I knew what was in the box. So that sort of sucked, but it was still a cool detective movie with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey.
Big Kevin Spacey fan.
Big Kevin.
Not just in movies.
He did his normal Christmas Eve Kevin Spacey thing. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, he's got to stop.
Why does he think we need him to do this?
What did he do?
He does like a fireside chat.
It's like a toast. And like
Still?
he did it 2
Still.
years ago as Frank Underwood, his character from the Netflix
House
show
of Cards.
House of Cards. And now he did it again. It's like
We're done with you.
we don't
man.
want you
We
anymore.
don't need it.
Like
Send
it's
him
not.
back.
You're done, bud.
So Seven was really good. I just wish I didn't know what was in the box. That would have been a cool twist. Matt has been begging me to watch this movie for years now. I finally watched Elysium with Matt Damon, directed by Neil Blomkamp. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, I think so.
Sort of sci-fi movie in a desolate future where the wealthiest people on the planet live in a space station called Elysium, and they have access to like instant cure of. And if you got broken bones, you got cancer all over your body, they put you in this pod. You're cured. So like everybody on Earth is like sick and dying.
I've never seen it.
It's good.
It's good. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is pretty good in it.
William Fichtner.
Yep, William Fichtner's in it.
Plays a really good bad guy.
Jodie Foster.
Yep, Jodie Foster.
Sharlto Copley from District 9.
Yep.
Is in it.
He's a badass in it.
He's a badass in it. It's again a lot of action, cool like futuristic story.
He does action really well.
He does.
Because Chappie is a great action movie.
Haven't seen that one either.
Chappie, that's the next one. Watch Chappie. Chappie's a great action
I
movie.
I want to do Looper next.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Looper.
Yes,
I haven't
that's
seen
right.
Looper.
Watch Looper. Chappie's a great action movie. Hugh Jackman's in it, and Slumdog Millionaire.
Dev
Patel. Is in it. Really good.
There's one thing about Elysium that I kept thinking of the whole time because I remember when it was coming out that the director wanted Eminem to be the lead role, and for whatever he wanted to film it in Detroit, and that wasn't he said that wasn't possible. So he turned down the role, and imagine how Matt Damon feels. You're fucking Matt Damon, and you're second fiddle to Eminem, who's been in one movie.
I mean, Eminem was good in 8 Mile, but I don't know.
Are you familiar with Die Antwood? I think that's how you say it. Die Antwood, Mitch. You know Die Antwood? They're a New Zealand rap group. New Zealand or Australian rap group. It's this guy and a girl. You recognize them if you saw them. They're in Chappie. And I think he just has a thing for rap. And I think he just likes to, because he has in his soundtracks too, he has a lot of rap in his soundtracks
he does.
too.
He does.
So
I also absolutely burned through 2 shows this week. I've had nothing to do. I've just been on vacation from work and not going anywhere. So first, Jen and I watched the Peaky fucking Blinders.
Nice.
We watched all 5 seasons in 4 days, which is pretty impressive. It's 30 hours of television. I love that show. Oh man, that show was good. It really reminds me of Sons of Anarchy, and I'm a big Sons of Anarchy guy. The main character reminds me a lot of it's like family, like a family-run business. The main character reminds me of Jax, but the difference is that he makes good on his promises rather than Jax. His plans are always falling to shit. That's just a super super cool show, and my favorite part of that show is how they switch it up every season. They go in the future X amount of years, and there's a different bad guy, and there's a different goal. You can tell that they've all moved up in the world after every season, just by the clothes and the cars they drive, where they live, and they do a really good job of raising the stakes in every season. And I'm really excited for the 6th season whenever it comes out, because the main character Thomas Shelby, he starts out in the first season as a local leader of a gang, and he moves him. He's a member of parliament in the 5th season. He moves himself up in the world, which is wild. So I'm psyched for season 6 whenever that comes out.
And he's Scarecrow, right?
He is Scarecrow
in Batman Begins.
in that. Yeah.
Mitch, you like that show?
Yeah, it's a great show. That's a great show.
I couldn't get past. I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I started season 3, and then just kind of drifted off.
Yeah. Well, I think.
And not that I didn't like it.
You just lose touch with it.
Yeah, you start something else, and then.
And finally, I watched this show. This one has been on my list for a while. I love me a good British crime drama. So I watched this show. It's on Netflix. It's called Broadchurch, and it's this small town in on the coast of southwest England. I think it is, or that's where it's set at least, because it's a beautiful town. The scenery in the town is gorgeous. I looked up where they filmed it, and it's this small town in very similar to the show The Killing, which I know Ryan loves. A child is murdered, and it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. It's a touristy town, but not a big touristy town. So, but odds are that the person that killed this child knew this child, and vice versa. And it's everybody's pointing fingers at everybody, and you've got one of the detectives is really close to the family of the child that died, and then the other detectives is from out of town, he's from a bigger city, and he's there because he as a penance he messed up a previous investigation, and so he wants to redeem himself in a smaller start in a smaller town. And even when you see him walking up to the body in the first episode, he's not again. No, don't do this to me. Because you can tell he's okay, this is going to relate to his past. And it's David Tennant is the villain. He's Kilgrave in Jessica Jones is the main character.
Fantastic villain.
And then the woman that plays the queen, Olivia Cole. Sorry. Coleman. Yeah, she plays
We started the first episode.
the lead female detective.
Yeah.
And she's really good in that movie. Her transformation through all 3 seasons is like really, she's a really strong actress. You can just see how like she gets hardened because as they go through the case, they like question these people, and you find out, you know, about their personal lives and things that they make up, and she's just like blown away. Like I thought I knew these people. All the seasons are really good. If I had to pick which one I thought was my favorite one, was be the third season. And the third season, like, because the third season is like you really have no fucking clue who did what happened in that one. So I can't recommend that one enough if you're into British crime dramas.
We just started that, Holly and I, before I came here.
Oh, nice.
So we watched like the first 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? Like, I liked it.
Yeah.
But I was like,
it's right up your alley. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's not as gruesome as the murder in The Killing, which I know you'll be disappointed in. But
Ryan loves a good gruesome killing.
Love a good gruesome murder.
Loves a good gruesome killing.
Only when it's real.
Matt, you got a short list here. What did you watch this week?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I watched, so I got like an end of the year credit from Best Buy for something like $50 for like just being a member and like spending X amount of money this year at Best Buy. So I got this credit and I was like, oh, I'll buy some 4K DVDs because I got a 4K DVD player and I want to test it out. So I got Top Gun, Ford versus Ferrari, Jaws.
Nice.
And I watched all three. I watched Jaws twice. I put Jaws
like right
in.
after one another? Like you stopped it?
I put Jaws in. I played it. I watched the entire thing. And then I meant to go watch the bonus features. And I hit play. And I thought it was the bonus features. And it just started the movie again. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll watch it. So I'll start with Top Gun. Top Gun is, I mean, I've watched Top Gun probably 4 or 5 times a year anyway. But Top Gun is great. It's an amazing movie. I can't wait for the sequel.
Right?
I can't wait
That's
for the
another
sequel.
one that we got hosed on from COVID.
Yeah. Can't wait for the sequel.
So Goose is named after Top Gun. Goose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Goose? Goose. Yeah,
She's a girl, but, you know.
what
Man's
the hell's
best
his
friend.
name? What's his name?
Val Kilmer?
No. What's Goose's name?
Oh, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards from ER as well.
Yeah.
So
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry. Is that a spoiler?
No.
He's in the cast from season 1.
He is.
He's bald though.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he aged.
Come a long way from Miramar. Ford versus Ferrari, one of my favorite movies from last year. I can't recommend it enough. And I have some people out there that don't like it. You know who you are.
Who?
My buddy Chad.
Who?
Does not like it. So
Really?
I'm gonna take this time right now to sell him on why he should watch it again. And I know he's listening. So here it is. Ford versus Ferrari tells a story that is uniquely American, and it's one of the most important series of events in American racing history. And if you can't appreciate American racing, but I know he does because he grew up in North Carolina and big NASCAR family, if you can't appreciate that, then you can appreciate that this is a story about two people who have the unique gene that they need to be the best at what they do, or else it will kill them. For Carroll Shelby and, well, for Ken Miles, literally, and for Carroll Shelby, literally and figuratively, because Carroll Shelby won Le Mans, which is a 24-hour race in France. It's a grueling, grueling race where you are in your car for dozens of hours, just like in the worst environment possible. You're not going through like a NASCAR like graded surface. These are just roads in France that they block off as a raceway for once a year. Ken Miles is this guy that came from England, and he had to be the best at what he was doing, and he was the stereotypical, like, I'm going to do it my way. I will not listen to anybody else. Ford did not want him to drive on their team, and Carroll Shelby was like buddies with him and was like, you have to have him. Like, this is the guy that money can't buy. This is a story about two underdogs, essentially. Carroll Shelby couldn't race anymore because his heart couldn't take it. His heart couldn't sustain a certain amount of beats per minute or else he would die. And so that's why he had to stop and just decide to make sports cars instead. And so he made the Cobras. It's just a great story. I mean, it's just like
I haven't seen it. I got it on my list.
It's casted like unbelievably.
I'll go back to the pitch to Chad because I kind of got off the rails a little bit. But this American story changed the way American motor racing happened forever. They did things at Le Mans that has never been done before. The way they swapped out entire braking, instead of just swapping brake pads, they would swap out the whole system, the whole rod, the arms, everything. So everything would be fresh for the car. It's just, I don't know. And like the dialogue in it is so good, and Christian Bale is such a professional. And like the way I watched the bonus features, the way he talked with Ken Miles' son, Peter Miles, who was there the day his dad died. He like got into the character so much. He had so much respect for this guy. He's also like a big racing fan, which I didn't know, Christian Bale. So he like knew the story of him already. It's just as incredible. And then like, of course, like I won't get into the spoilers of the accounts of when Ken Miles raced Le Mans.
But Matt Damon as Carroll Shelby is amazing too.
Yeah, he does a really good job. And like the bonus features of it did a really good job where they what is the director's name? James Mangold. James Mangold? Yep. He was talking about how, like, yeah, we could have gone out and typecast somebody to look exactly like Carroll Shelby. We could have, but it was better because Carroll Shelby was this very tall guy.
Yeah. He's like an imposing figure.
Yeah. And so Matt Damon is not that guy, really, especially next to Christian Bale.
Yeah.
So he's like, but Matt Damon nailed, like, the mannerisms of Carroll Shelby, and, like, so it was really good. And this movie had been wanting to get made for a while, so they're able to interview Carroll Shelby before he died about his life, specifically for the script, which is cool. So
I wonder, I remember a while back I watched that series on Vero of Michael Fassbender like training and like actually racing for Le Mans.
Yeah.
I got to imagine he was up for this role, and then like Christian Bale walked in and was like, sorry, Mike, I'm going to go with Christian Bale on this one.
That's very curious because now you bring that up, like I remember you telling me about that. He must have wanted in on this. Although
he had to have.
He might have been just a very, like, he might have been a pure and not really like been a fan of Ken Miles. I mean, I can't see how you wouldn't be, especially in the racing world. He's like a hero.
Yeah. Well, he loved, like, I think he mentions him in the little documentary, and he was supposed to race in it this summer, but I think it got canceled this year, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't do it.
It's just an unbelievable story about this guy and how Ford kind of like fucked him over. And like, there's so many good like supporting characters. There's John Bernthal, who plays Lee Iacocca, who was the marketing at Ford when they brought the Mustang on, which was he was a huge character in that whole thing. And of course, Henry Ford II. It's just a great movie.
Who's the guy who plays like the main?
He's from Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, the main guy from Ford.
Oh, Josh Lucas.
Yeah,
Justine loves Josh Lucas. I don't know why.
The older guy.
The older guy. Oh,
What's his name?
On the Shelby race team?
Yeah.
So he's from he was in Sons of Anarchy.
He's
he was
in
like
a
the
bunch
weird,
of stuff. The heck's his name? He's like a playwright too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'll look it up right now. And then just the cars and stuff. I was watching the bonus footage or the bonus feature. I was doing a lot of bonus feature watching. They got a ton of actual cars. I didn't realize this when I watched it the first time, but a lot of the cars are replicas, of course, but they are working cars. And when they were on the tracks, none of that, like a lot of that wasn't CG cars. They were cars that were built and raced, and then there was another car that was this, like, they call it the Frankenstein Mobile, and it's just like this like rigged out, like low to the ground race car that had cameras on it that could go as fast as the other race cars.
Oh, that's
and be able
awesome!
To film. It's nuts. I thought that was so cool. The guy you're thinking of is
Ray McKinnon, Phil Remington.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like some type of like FBI agent or something in Sons.
Yeah. And then he's in Deadwood, Rectify, Mud, The Evening Sun, maybe. Mayans. Oh, he's in Mayans?
Yeah, if you're in Sons or
I
in
don't know
Mayans.
if that's the guy I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
but I
I think they've all
two.
made cameos in Mayans.
Anyway, he's in Law and Order. Fear the Walking Dead.
I don't think that's the guy I'm thinking of.
No, I think it's someone different. Anyway, Ford versus Ferrari. Chat.
Tracy Letts. That's
Give
who
it
is.
another try. Incredible.
His name's Tracy Letts. He's married to Carrie Coon.
Tracy Letts. Who is he? Oh, he's Henry Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
He was like, he's like, whenever you see him pop up in a movie, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
They got a good supporting cast.
It was really good. I just like, I love the dialogue and like the subject matter obviously is right up my alley, but it's just a good American tale as well. Like a good, like when America used to be like, maybe a little bit more racist than it is now, which is shocking. But, back when America was like still like finding things to be the best at, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like land on the moon, like win Le Mans, which is a Ferrari. Like they had won so many years in a row. And then when the Ford GT came along, the GT40, they won 4 out of the next 5 years.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, that's history.
It's actual history.
I won't.
Well, it's like one of those things where, like you said, you look back, like our culture in America might not have been the thing you could root on, but they were, like you said, they were applying themselves to, like, be the best at something.
Yeah.
Which the whole country could get behind. It was maybe the Olympics, maybe it was Le Mans, maybe it was, NASA or something.
Yeah.
And now it's nothing.
So yeah, great movie. Watched Jaws twice. Tremendous movie. Mitch, can you do your Quint impression?
I don't remember it anymore.
Where
he's on the chalkboard.
I'll find him for 10.
Find him for 10.
I catch him and kill him for. What does he say?
I don't know. He says I'll find him for 10. Kill him for 15 or something like that.
Catch him, kill him for 20.
It's a quote. It's
a great one.
Crush him like Quint. Narragansett beer.
Yep. So he famously, Narragansett beer has built their entire marketing on Quint in the movie having a Narragansett beer and him crushing it while he's on the boat.
Being an alcoholic, basically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watch the bonus features of Jaws. I've seen that 100 times as well. But just one fascinating thing that pulled out for me is that scene where he does the USS Indianapolis speech.
Oh, man.
It's a great monologue.
One of the all-time cinema monologues,
Yeah.
great monologues. The first night he did it, he told Steven Spielberg that he wanted to have a few drinks, convinced him, and so Steven Spielberg was like, all right, fine, you can have a few drinks. And he got so drunk that he couldn't do it. So the next day he showed up, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He apologized and nailed it. Like, that was the next day. The other thing about that is John Milius, who is this fantastic American screenplay writer, wrote that monologue for him.
It's almost like a mythical figure in like screenwriting.
Yeah.
Milius. Yeah.
Yeah. He's done like a ton of stuff, but he's ill now. He's like sick. So he doesn't do as much anymore, but that was like huge. And he was in the little stable with Spielberg and all those guys. And,
Coppola. And,
yeah. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Jaws, great movie. Still holds up as well. So, and then the last thing I watched was I've been watching Community. I'm almost through season 1. Hilarious.
Yeah, you didn't get Dan Harmon.
It's so good. I know. It's so good.
I've tried Community.
Well, you don't like Joe McHale, right?
Joe McHale is like a diet Ryan Reynolds for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like
He tries to be the handsome, funny guy, but it just doesn't land with me. We got that guy.
He's like Craig. He's like if you were to watch the Craig Kilborn character in Old School for like an entire show. He's like the one who dates the girl that Mitch is going after in Old School.
Oh yeah.
I gotcha. Yep.
So if you like have to watch that guy,
Yeah.
every single scene of every single episode of a show,
Right.
it's like I don't know.
I find halfway through, Mitch, they removed Chevy Chase from the show.
Like the third season in. I don't think they removed him so much as he wanted to leave and they wanted him to leave. So
He's like
Because he's
screaming the N-word,
he's
right?
easily my favorite character
yeah,
on
he
the
said
show.
the N-word or
Yeah,
something
I think he
like
went
that.
on like a tirade.
Yeah,
against-
that's not good.
The way he said it was, he said, I guess the way he said it was like he didn't like, I guess it started with he didn't like the writing for his character. I think what it was he was too similar in real life to Pierce Hawthorne in the show.
Yeah.
And so he just didn't get it. But the way he said, I don't know. But yeah, he wanted to leave, I guess, the way it sounded.
So it's unfortunate. I don't really know any of the backstory on that, but his character is so funny. He just is very funny to me. I've heard from a lot of different people that he's not the best person to work with.
But he is a funny guy.
He's very funny. He's just he gets it. Like he gets comedic timing. He just gets it. He gets physical comedy. He gets it all. Like I just watched the episode of the Halloween Party.
Yeah, and he's tripping.
He's trying to like because he's an old guy, and he's in a study group with all these young people, and he's trying to hide that he has this long thing of pills for every day of the week, and he's trying to hide that he's taking them. And he's in the bathroom, and the guy comes up. First of all, he dresses as Beastmaster from the movie Beastmaster because he thinks that's the cool thing. Like nobody fucking knows what Beastmaster is. Anyway, he's in the bathroom popping open the pill things, and he's like trying to quietly do it. And some guy comes out of the store, and he's like, "Hey, what are you taking over there?" He goes, "Oh, little of this, little of that, Quaaludes, this, uppers, downers." He's like, "Hey, I'll trade you one of mine for a couple of yours." And he's like, "Oh, okay, fine," because he wanted to be cool, and so he takes it, and it's like LSD or something, and he's fucking tripping balls. Oh, it's so good, and it's just a great great little cast,
Good
too.
ensemble.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying it. I'm almost through season 1. That's it for me.
So
All right, that's it.
that's it. Episode's over. So I watched The Midnight Sky, the new George Clooney Netflix movie.
I can see the pain in
See,
your
I
eyes.
can, yep. It's not looking good.
I wanted to love it so bad. It was okay.
No, it's just okay.
It wasn't that good. No, very disappointing. It was like a good supporting cast. Felicity Jones, I believe. Right? Is that the girl from the Star Wars movies?
Oh,
Not Felicity Jones. Yeah.
she's in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Felicity, I don't know.
I think it's Felicity Jones.
Yeah, Felicity Jones.
Yeah. So she's in it. She's like really good. So like the crew part of the movie. So it's like a 2-part movie. So you have Clooney, who plays this like alien scientist who leaves Earth to try and like save Earth from like impending disaster.
Okay.
And then you have like a space team who's like out in outer space, who's on this mission. It
sounds like it's tough to even explain.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't know. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to remember who else is in it.
So what you're telling me?
What's his name? Kyle Chandler is it? So the acting is good. Kyle Chandler is very good in it. Felicity Jones, and you also have Damian Bashir. I don't know if you know who that is.
It sounds familiar.
If you look him up, you know who he is.
What is it? Up in the air.
The Midnight Sky.
That's what I'm saying.
Clooney's also an up.
Yeah. Damien Bashir, beautiful accent.
Yeah,
Another
beautiful
one.
accent. So they're like a space team, and Clooney is by himself. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I wanted it to be better. I really did, and I was so like looking forward to it because it came out on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
Or Christmas
around
Eve or
Christmas.
around there.
So what you're telling me is that this is not his best space movie. And
He was really the only thing.
Gravity is still his best space movie.
Yes, 100%. He was really good. He directed it. I thought it was like very pretty. Which the only thing with that is like if you're directing a space movie, like how's it not going to be like a really pretty movie?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna have the shot where you're in space and you're looking at the Earth, and you're gonna have sunset and sunrise pit scenes. So I don't know. I was disappointed.
Everybody's just chasing Interstellar.
Everybody.
Yeah. And Interstellar makes this movie looks like poopy.
Poopy.
Finished Heaven's Gate.
Okay, so what did you think about the end? I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, the end. I mean, it's like the cult.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the name of the documentary was The Cult of Cults, because it is the cult. That's a real cult. That's not like Nexium. That's not like. I mean, I guess the Jim Jones ones was technically a cult since like 900 people died, but
Yeah.
this one.
You guys in your cult shows.
But this is like a real cult, and I appreciated what they did, especially in the last episode, how they talked about how easy it is to be influenced by like these type of people.
Yeah.
Like Bo and Peep, or is that his name? Like, or
Bo and T.
Bo and T. Or like a Jim Jones.
Wait, no, not Bo. Doe. Doe and T.
Doe and T.
D-O, because it was Do,
The Sound
Re,
of
Mi,
Music
Fa, Sol,
song,
La,
yeah.
Ti,
Duh.
Do.
Those are the 2 syllables they landed on.
Well, they love the sound of
What
music.
about Ray?
No, they wanted to be the beginning and the end.
Yeah, it was Doe
Okay.
and T. But I appreciated how they had like psychologists and like cult experts come in and talk about how easy it is to be influenced, and how people really, there's so many people, whether you have a mental illness or you don't, who are just looking to belong and like need something, and they don't necessarily have a friend group or like a family structure, so they're gonna get attracted to this, as extreme as it seems to us, to this sense of community. And then they held the experiments where there was 8 people, and 7 of the 8 were in on what they should say. So they literally had 4 lines, 3 of the 4 lines were a certain length, and the 4th one was a little bit shorter. And 7 of the 8 people were going to say, no, that 4th line is the same length. And the 8th person didn't know. So they would have the 7 people go first and say, nope, they're all the same length. Nope, they're all the same length, blah, blah, blah. And then they go to the 8th person, and he's like, yep, they're all the same length. And it would just show you how people wanted to fit in. Like, it's human nature to just want to, even if it's the most ridiculous thing, like, your eyes are telling you this isn't correct. But you're like, I don't have a
7 other people said it.
and I don't have a support system to tell me anything different, so I'm just going to pick it. Where, like, usually we look at cults, and you're like, these people are fucking crazy. Like, dismiss them, whatever. But, like, why do people keep joining them every year? You know, all the time. There's probably a million cults out there now. So that part of it, I'm glad they looked at that part rather than like, oh, these people are nuts.
Yeah.
You know, they're crazy.
Which is what they were trying to highlight what the news does. It's like
It does. It sensationalizes it, and then it moves on.
Yep.
It just makes you seem like a psychopath.
It doesn't look at the reasons why they happen.
Sensationalize. I like that word.
Thank you. Made it up.
So I thought it was a good documentary.
Yeah.
It was a good look at cults and like you boil them down, like you said.
Because if that guy can make you believe something, there's something wrong with you.
He was mentally ill.
This was committed.
Yeah, mentally ill.
Was literally mentally ill. The nurse that he was committed with got him out of the institution, and then they created a cult, and people followed them because they were so lost.
It's like a real Joker Harley Quinn scenario.
Yeah, like they left their families. And people. The thing I think that
cold turkey. They quit their lives.
Right, but got them is so the leaders let them come and go. So they would say like, you know what, like this next phase is too much for me, and the guy would say, okay, go back to your families.
Right.
You know, but you can always come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would come back, and there was a couple people that left and came back right before they did like the mass suicide.
Ugh.
And at the same time, in was it 96 or 97? So there was a asteroid that actually did pass through the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Halley's Comet, was it? No.
Haley Bob.
Haley Bob or something. So there's an asteroid that it was a big news story. It's like, oh, this asteroid is going to pass by the Earth. If you wait outside, you can see it. It was this big old thing. And then there were like conspiracy theorists that said there was like the Hale-Bopp comet. There was like this little piece of an asteroid that followed it, which was a deep fake. Like it wasn't a real picture. It wasn't a real thing. And they took that as the signal that they needed to.
That was the spaceship coming. Yeah.
So now you're just that. So they were like talking about it for 30 years.
Holy shit.
There was gonna be this thing, and then they saw it, and it ended up being like someone doctored the image.
Yeah.
But it's sad. It's like you can make fun of it, but it's just sad that these people had nothing else to live for.
Yeah.
They cut their hair. A couple of them got castrated.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That one guy who this guy got castrated, but he got castrated by people that didn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. He almost
And he
died.
died.
And then the people who were taking care of him didn't refuse to take him to a hospital because they didn't want to ask any questions. And then they eventually took him, but they were like that. Their first reaction wasn't, oh, his. They basically they were explaining how his ball sack was filling with blood.
Yeah. So they cut his ball sack out, took out his testicles,
and like his sack was just his scrotum was just filling with.
But they didn't have any way to like set you back up or.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So eventually they took him to a hospital, but their first reaction wasn't to take him to a hospital because they were in this cult.
This is like, no, the spaceship's gonna make everything okay.
Also, they did say the guy who talks like he's losing his voice.
Yeah.
They did explain why.
Well, did they?
Yeah, so he was. So this is how messed up some of the people were. So this guy, normal guy, him and his wife joined, and he went to speak up in like a therapy session, and he started talking. And the big thing with them is you have no gender. You're not male. You're not female. If you have like a deep voice, like you need to cut it out. Everyone's the same. So the guy went to talk in a deep voice, and the leader called him out and made fun of him, and it messed him up so bad psychologically that he couldn't speak like after that. And now he talks like he's always catching his breath because he's so afraid to speak with a deep voice.
So weird.
And his wife is one of the people who ended up killing herself.
He didn't kill himself.
No, he left the group and he tried to take her with her, and she's like, no, like we're going up to the spaceship. Like we're gonna be like, how does imagine that? Like
It's fucking weird.
it's so weird.
Honey, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to the
We're going to the
spaceship. Gotta get on that spaceship.
I'll see you there.
Sounds absurd.
It sounds absurd, but
I'm gonna
like
go home
these
tonight. I'm
people,
gonna go to Lindy.
now this guy's just like left to be like, well,
Lindy, look, everything's gonna be fine.
And then we're going to the spaceship.
We're going to the spaceship.
All right. Well, it's fine. So that it was a great documentary, very dark, but I did appreciate the way they looked into the such psychological aspects of it.
Yeah.
I watched Class Action Park.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome documentary. The layout of the documentary was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's the first 3/4 of it is a very like happy-go-lucky. You know, you have Chris Gethard, Shauna Malwae-Tweep.
Yes.
Ooh.
All like the celebrities and like the people who work there. It's like, oh, it was so much fun. Like, we were kids. We were, it was the 80s, all this stuff.
It's like, it's your rite of passage. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last like 20 minutes are like newspaper clipping. It's like someone died at the park. And the owner was just such a dickhead that. So he would never settle, the guy who owned the park. He would always take it to court because he had all this like money behind him, which you found out was like mob related and city council related, and the families like would always would get nothing because they couldn't hire a lawyer.
And he just kept like making shell companies to like he couldn't get insured, so he opened his own insurance company and insured himself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
He's in jail now, right?
He's dead.
Oh.
Yeah. But he wasn't in jail.
No, and they had a lawyer who said that like the way he did it.
His son owns the park now.
Yeah, like the way he did it. They had a lawyer on. Is like the way he did it is
That's
he
baseball,
would,
baby.
he would never have to pay out.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's horrible.
It got to the point where they were leaning on this little town. This little town, to back up a little bit, this little town was blossoming at this point in
Vernon,
the
New
80s,
Jersey?
where they were comparing. This is a little like preemptive, but they were comparing it to like the new Las Vegas on the East Coast. It was like the Playboy Mansion opened a branch there, like it was getting big, and then all of a sudden this park stunted the growth of the town because they were just leaning on the town with all their resources. The ambulances they had 2 ambulances in the town. They were constantly at Action Park,
So they had to get private.
So they had to get their own.
Yeah. But like the pace of it, like it was such a happy documentary. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool, like crazy. And like me being a future father, I'm like, my kid's not gonna go there. But like you can see, like being a teenager, like
you'd want to be there.
Like I'm gonna sneak out and like go to this park. But then the people who died, and they just didn't care. So that was like the last 20 minutes. I'm like, this is a bummer. Like everybody kept dying there, and then they finally had to close it down.
They had these jet boats.
People would
There were little mini.
get shocked.
Yeah, they were like these little mini. The
Electrocuted in the water.
kayak. So yeah, they had like a kayak area, and like the kayak turned over and hit one of the kayak
The underwater
paddles,
fans.
hit the underwater fan that made the current and like shocked.
So anyone who fell in the water would immediately get electrocuted and die.
And then they had these little jet boats that one of them, the kid, they were just little boats with a huge outboard engine on the back of them. It's for single riders. And this kid ran up on the dock. One of the lifeguards was explaining the story. One of the kids ran up on the dock, and the propeller of his boat almost cut this kid's head off.
Holy shit!
It was like spinning right behind the kid's head.
Then you had the wave pool that would get so when they showed the pictures of the wave pool, it was like this crystal clear blue water. But they said between like the blood from the cuts, the urine or the shit, and just like the normal stuff, it would get so dark that people would go under and you couldn't see them, and people would just drown. So
multiple times people drowned in this.
But they wouldn't know until the end of the day. Like they would find the bodies after.
Oh, great! So how many people died at this place?
I think it's a less than 10.
Less
right?
than 10, yeah.
But
No, you guys are making it sound like thousands of people.
No,
I mean, think about it.
Well, still, it's a theme
I
park.
just pictured at the end of the day, they get the net, scooping dead bodies out.
No, one is enough.
Oh, we got another one over here.
There's a
Thousands?
pile.
Somebody in the bathroom with his guts hanging out, sitting on the toilet.
No, I mean it's just like, it
But
was
still a lot.
They hired the people who designed the rides were rejects from like Six Flags and Disney.
Okay.
They were like people that designed. They couldn't get jobs at those type of theme parks, so this guy hired them. He's like, "What do you got?" He's like, "Well, I got this loop-de-loop
So
slide."
they designed a loop.
Nobody
but,
wears any seatbelts.
but they designed a loop where it wasn't like a steep enough cliff, so people would get stuck on the loop.
Fall out.
No,
And then
get stuck.
So they got stuck on the loop, and then they decided, okay, we'll make it longer so it's faster. And then people started getting shot up into the top of it so hard that their teeth would come out and get stuck in there, and then the next person would cut themselves on the person's teeth.
It's deranged.
Fucking outrageous.
Yeah,
So anyway, yeah, that's a great documentary. They
It
did,
is.
They did a really good job.
it's insane.
Yeah,
That
it gets
Johnny
sad.
Knoxville did that, right?
No, I don't.
He did
Giant
like a
Expo-
movie sort of version.
He did a movie called Action Point,
Okay.
which is essentially like a story about the park, and I think he plays the owner.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I think it's more of a comedy though than
Yeah, it was pretty dark at the end.
a no holds barred romp.
I mean, people die. Like, that's kind of dark. And because especially they interview one of the family, like the mother, who said she, like, threw herself into traffic after her son died. And the husband had to, like, save her because she was so sad her son died at Action Park. Like, that's...
You trying to get me to laugh here?
No!
Trying to hold it back. That's
Why would you
terrible.
laugh at that?
You're laughing at me.
I'm not laughing.
It's terrible.
It was very sad. Anyway,
very sad.
Moving on. So we went to New Hampshire this weekend for New Year's with Jeff and Justine, as we always do with the Mellows, and Jack, baby Jack.
Baby Jack.
Baby Jack. Great baby. One of the all-time
That's not
babies.
what I heard.
From who?
No, I'm just
Oh. You know Justine's listening.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we decided between Holly, myself, Jeff, and Justine is we would pick our top 5 Office episodes
Ooh, cool.
since The Office is officially off of Netflix now as of December 31st. So we watched
R.I.P.
like our top 20 Office episodes. A lot of fun.
Was there any overlaps? I mean, if
Oh,
there
yeah.
were, I got to imagine they were substitutes.
Ton of overlap. So we had like some like replacements.
Who didn't have the dinner party on there?
We all had dinner party.
Okay.
We all had dinner party. But some of the other ones for any Office fans out there. So Beach Games,
Great one.
Oh, yep, good one.
the end of season 3, I believe. The Return, when Oscar comes back and Dwight gets rehired from Staples.
Yep.
And I love the end of that episode when there's a piñata. It's for Oscar's party. And Dwight is like, has a stick, and they go to put the blindfold on him. He goes, "No, I don't need it." He beats the shit out of him. So my top 5 were obviously dinner party, Niagara, which is the wedding,
Yeah.
Of course.
Stress Relief, the one where Dwight's like.
Wait, so do you do Niagara as a 2-parter or 1-parter?
So
Ooh.
I picked it as part 1, but I was like, well,
We just watch both.
it's starting again.
Yeah,
right?
right. Okay.
Stress Relief,
Great
which
one.
is also a 2-parter,
Yeah.
which funny enough was played after the Super Bowl.
Which one's
That's
that?
weird.
That's the one where Dwight lights the fire.
Stanley.
Stanley has a
Oh,
heart
my
attack.
God.
So they premiered
You're
that
black,
episode after
Stanley.
the Super Bowl, and there was like
That's like one of the that's one of my
it was
favorite
like
ones.
50 million viewers or something.
Yeah.
Because that's when the Super Bowl was on NBC, not
Yeah.
CBS. I did the Return, the one with Oscar, and then
Did anybody do Florida?
no Florida episodes.
Damn, I love the Florida episodes are great.
Log into Messina.
Yep.
Did I say Messina?
Anybody do the Dundies?
Nobody did the Dundies, the original
Don
Gay
Dundies.
Witch Hunt. That's a good one.
No Gay Witch Hunt.
That's a good one.
There's a lot of like season 3 and the injury. I know.
Good one.
I think
Yep.
that's Justine's favorite one when he steps on the George
Yes.
Foreman grill. But so like just we pretty much almost watched the entire series throughout the 4 days. Just an unbelievable show, and it's a matter of time before I get Peacock. So
Yeah. Well, Peacock. I mean,
Would you just buy the series?
again, you gotta look at where you can buy it because I bought it. It was a while
It's
ago.
probably
It was
sky high right now.
$30 on iTunes. $30 for the entire season. So I have it all.
But yeah, I'm gonna wait to see what Peacock has to offer too.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have some new stuff. Yeah.
If they have a good luck, because like HBO Max has a lot of
We got
good.
Yellowstone. Neil likes Yellowstone.
I told
That's
myself
true.
I wouldn't
Neil
get
really
another
likes
streaming
Yellowstone.
service before I cancel one. Like it's getting to the point
I
where
know.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is just turning into cable again. It's like I'm starting to think to myself, why don't they have a thing that just puts all these things together in a nice channel format?
Almost like cable TV.
Yeah, almost like cable TV.
To
That's what I want us to do.
to end it, Knives Out. We watched Knives Out.
Great movie.
I love that movie so much. It's like one of my favorite movies of the recently, but it's gonna end up being one of my favorite movies like ever. It's just so rewatchable. It's
yeah.
so good. You have the cast is unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have Daniel Craig, Ana de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, Michael Shannon,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans,
Toni Collette.
Toni Collette,
I love her.
Christopher Plummer. It's amazing, and I love
Lakeith Stanfield.
Keith Stanfield.
Keith Stanfield.
Daniel Craig obviously goes far with that accent, but I love it because it's not like a parody. He's kind of playing like an actual like Southern detective.
Yeah.
Like it sounds silly because that's not how he sounds.
Yeah.
At all.
But it
He could have
works.
just used his own accent
Right,
and been
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
It just is. Yeah. It's a caricature of a detective.
but Michael Shannon There's no explanation for why he has a cane. There's no explanation for his
he's not
his
old.
look. He's not old.
Yeah,
I think he has a walking boot. I saw in one scene.
Yeah,
he had a walking boot, but
Maybe-
nothing's explained. So, like you said, I was texting you the other day, and you're like, I think he just showed up on set like this, and they kind of.
We're like, hey, you know you're ready.
No,
Like,
hey.
hey, do I need to go to my trailer for hair and makeup? No, you're good.
No,
Just
you're
stay
good.
like that.
No, he's
Just
got
like
a
that.
goatee. He looks haggard. This is what it is. But that movie is so good, and I forgot watching that movie in the theaters. This is gonna be a spoiler alert, whatever.
It's been out for 2 years, 2 or 3 years now.
When Chris Evans tackles Ana de Armas and stabs her, and the knife clicks in,
Yeah.
and it would have been fine if they stopped it like that and the cops pulled him off, but he pulls it back out, and then he stabs her again, and then he's like shit, and then
Yeah.
there's that dead silence, and I remember being in the theater and the theater just laughing,
Yeah.
erupting, and laughs and cheers, and it's so smart.
Yeah.
For Rian Johnson or whoever wrote it, for it to be like that. Because you could have easily just done the first one and then the cops pull them off, and it's its own thing.
There was a lot of haters around that time when Knives Out came out for Rian Johnson because
Last Jedi.
there's this group of people that for whatever reason destroy The Last Jedi, which is the second of the new Star Wars movies. You'll get to those.
Okay.
They hate it.
I don't hate
They
it.
stop-
It's not my
they-
favorite one, but
They hate it, but they also fixate on it
Right.
of how much they hate it and how much it ruined, quote unquote, ruined the Star Wars saga. And so they refuse to give Rian Johnson credit for how good Knives Out was. There's all if you ask anybody that didn't like Knives Out, it's guaranteed they didn't like it because Rian Johnson.
right. That's it. Before we close out here, I don't know if we have anything left, but
No, that's it, right, Ryan? This is it.
I did have a thing, but we can see it. It's not newsworthy.
so on the last podcast when you called in, so I made a plea a few weeks ago for someone to please read these Harry Hole books, and I
Yes.
reported back that Justine read the first one.
And she didn't like it.
She was not a big fan of it.
Do we have a new development?
So she texted me today and asked me. She texted me today, and I'm happy to report that she read the second one and
she
liked
hated
it.
it.
Liked it better than the first one. She also read the third one
Oh, what the fuck?
and liked it better than the second one. So they're
I'm a
growing
witness
on
that
her.
she reads a book a day would
So
be
fast.
underselling it.
That's absurd.
So fast.
That's absurd.
And so one thing she has an issue with is how the writer writes the female characters. There's really not a cool female character is in the third one for not a long time.
Are they just like Bond girls?
Not really like Bond girls. There's no badass element to them.
Okay.
But I've reassured her that obviously 12 books in a series is a large investment. But for someone who reads a book a day, it's not.
It's not.
It's not at all.
It's a less than 2 week investment.
So he really hits his stride from 7 on. From 7 on, they get so good. And then there's that strong female character that she's looking for shows up in 7. She's awesome and she's a wild card. So please stick with it. I know you'll be done in a couple weeks. If you want to borrow them, let me know.
Should probably be done by the time this podcast airs.
I'm still trying to mentally get myself ready to read Dune.
Yeah, Sean actually, friend of ours, Sean told me he's starting Dune, and he asked me whether or not to read the appendices, and I told him absolutely to read them, because otherwise you'll be fucking lost.
Is that like a prequel?
The appendices, I can't even get into it.
Maybe not now.
I can't even get into it.
They're
It'd be
kind
a
of
whole
like in
other
the
podcast.
Watchmen how they have those clip outs,
Yeah,
the documents.
yeah. It gives you a little back. So in Dune, there's different planets and religious groups and political groups, and the appendices are backgrounds on the groups, so you're not blind. And then I've said this before, but so I read those, but throughout the first 50, 100 pages, I kept having to go back and forth to the glossary of the book because there's so many unique terms, what they call their soldiers, what they call their flying vehicles and ground vehicles. So many unique terms. You have to go back and look at what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that is a movie I'm dying to see. That is a movie that I will 100% see in IMAX and not at home. So
Timothy Chalamet had a birthday last week.
he did. 25 years old. My baby boy. What?
What?
I think that's all I got.
Yeah. I'll save my thing was just a funny.
Yeah, save it for the next one. Maybe the cold open will do.
I sent you the tweet how to make baseball more exciting?
You sent me a tweet?
The pitcher. All right, I'm just gonna do it then.
Just
do
do
it.
it.
So-
Yeah.
Do it.
I saw a tweet, or Holly rather.
Did you?
I'd say it was a pitcher, so Holly saw it rather. So she's like, you know what would make baseball more exciting? Like the last pitch of the World Series,
Oh yeah.
you'd have to bring in a celebrity. So it's like bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Here comes Danny DeVito, and he's gonna throw the last pitch.
Who decides who it's going to be?
The other team.
Oh. Okay.
So it could be any celebrity.
But they have to like have that person on tap. They have to bring him to the stadium. They
So
put
I
him
think
in
like
a back room.
I would say before the game, you have to pick like 3 celebrities. So that
Well, like,
way
what
they're
if-
all ready.
If the celebrity can't get the ball over the plate. That's
You
too
think
bad.
Danny DeVito could throw a pitch over the plate? 3-2 count. Here
I
it comes.
can't.
Oh, super short, and the game's over, and the Red Sox lose the World Series.
Here-
That would make it more exciting. I mean, I feel like people would.
It would definitely make it more exciting.
Although I guess you would need it to be a close game in the bottom of the ninth, but that's semantics.
I like that. I'm trying to think in my head a really funny scenario.
And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is I know you have a radical idea to improve baseball:
Which one?
stealing bases.
Oh, yeah.
what's the, I mean, that's in baseball.
So
You know
no,
that,
but in baseball, you can steal first base.
What?
Like, what if in baseball you could try to steal first base? So like, there's a pitcher coming up. He's got a big windup, right? And you're really fast. So all right, here comes the pitch, and he takes off, and you run for first base. You just steal whenever you want.
Just whatever you want.
yeah.
Especially if you're a lefty.
Right, like Ichiro. He's like halfway.
With
He's halfway down the first baseline as soon as the ball comes off the bat. So
Right.
like, what if he just tried to steal first base?
If
You
someone's
get
in
a
the
wild
windup-
pitch,
Do
or
you think it would ever happen?
So the thing is, once you instituted that rule, you'd probably get rid of the long windups,
yeah, I don't know.
or
I
maybe
had-
people would refuse to care.
I had an interesting rule for football too. That like you're not down. Like all these rules now. Like you got a knee down. One of his ass cheeks was down. His wrist was down. It's like there's so many different ways you can go about it. No, you're not down until you are physically stopped from moving the ball forward.
I'm with that one.
So like you are down and everybody is piled on top of you and you physically cannot go forward anymore, or you're hurt to the point where you can't move on.
I don't know if that would help the
believe
concussion problem.
you want NFL blitz rules.
I do want. So I've got an idea that I'll tease for a cold open next week. It has to do with mattresses and like a comfortable night's sleep.
Oh.
Okay. I
So,
like that.
Who's not interested in that?
I know, right? Well, if you're interested in that, you can go to averagenobodies.com to check out our podcast and our blog and see where we're at. We're on Twitter at Average Nobodies. We're on Instagram at
That's
Average
right.
Nobodies.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
All those, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, all those places. So check us out there. This has been the 106
106,
episode.
baby.
It's pretty good. 106.
That's baseball, baby.
Thanks, producer Mitch. Welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hey, he's on the board for the celebrity
He's on
birthdays.
the board.
On the board, Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon.
Good riddles this week.
Community.
Thanks.
All right, that's it. Talk to you guys later.